sign?
Yes, I did.
Both of them?
Yes. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. Okay. When you were working at Walmart, do you remember experiencing any kind of discrimination?
Not from the employees. Oh yes, I did. Most of the discrimination that I encountered was from customers.
I know, my nephew said the same
Yeah,
thing.
because when they see someone that was so young, and then that was my skin color, and I'm in a predominantly Caucasian area, and I'm running the entire store most nights, and they just couldn't believe it. But I did encounter some discrimination. Unfortunately, it was from men of my same color. And they just didn't think that I was capable of doing the job.
Now, were they managers or they were on the? They were associates.
We were on the same.
Oh, so okay. This was at Sam Club. Okay, so you were a manager, and you experienced discrimination from other managers who just felt that because you
that
were what?
Men and that were
was it
of my same color.
So because you're a woman. Just to be clear, because you know some people of color have issues with other people of color too. So they felt like you didn't belong there or something like that.
Yes.
Oh, well, too bad for them.
And once you know, it was kind of intimidating at first, but once I took care of it, you know, the company came down and they had my 100%. Like it was just no tolerance.
So you talked to, I guess did you like do like a phone call type thing, or you just talked to your direct manager and said, look, this is happening?
Yes. So the first thing I did was, number one, I spoke to my immediate boss. The second thing that I did was I filed a complaint. That complaint immediately goes to our regional director's office, and it has to be addressed within 24 hours. If not, then it would be a problem. So, and it stays in the system.
Okay.
So that home office can see that there's a problem at this store, and this is what the problem is. And then after it was addressed way before the 24 hours were up. And then there was a checkup about maybe 3 or 4 days later, and then after that there was another checkup a month later to see how things were going.
So it sounds like it was handled properly in your case. Do you know anything about the class action suit? Have you heard about it or?
Well, it's not just one. I actually was involved with the first one, and that one was employees were not getting paid for hours that was worked. So what was happening was...
You said you were a person in the class action suit?
I was.
And you were a manager?
I was a manager. And what was happening is, because you would work, and I only associate with work, let's say they're 35.7 hours, and because their work might not be done, they would clock out, come back on the floor, and continue working.
Were they asked to work off the clock?
In some cases, some people were. I've never seen that myself.
So nobody ever asked you to work off the clock?
When I was at Walmart, no. I did it because I didn't want to come in the next day to to a mess. So I would clock out and I would just finish my job.
So you chose to work off the clock?
But
was that encouraged or? Because you're saying you were in high school, so it's like, where would you get the idea that that's what you should do?
From other workers that was doing it.
Okay, so other people, nobody manager ever said to you, "Hey, work off the clock," but you saw other people doing that, so you thought that was the way to do things.
And when my manager, her name was Gayla, at Walmart, when she found out that I was doing that, she was very upset. She said, "You just can't do that."
Yeah, because that is illegal.
It is illegal. And then
you can't work and not get paid.
That's right.
Right.
And that they were really big on that. And so what ended up happening, around the country, it was many complaints because apparently that some people were asked
to work off the clock. Right, because it sounds to me like even though your manager told you don't do that, from things that I've watched and things that I've heard, and even in your store where she's saying don't do it, but it sounds like that was kind of the culture. That was, you know, people
culture.
Just did that.
Yes.
So maybe she was against it, but maybe there were other managers. Because it would never occur to me to work off the clock at a job. Somebody gave the idea that this is what you do, and then people started doing it, and then so then it's like the employees are sort of the enforcers of it, because you just assume that's the way to do things.
That's right.
And nobody ever had to ask you to do it, because it was just the culture.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. And so what ended up happening was, at the end of the class action suit, the employees...
Did you get your money?
Yes, I did.
All right now.
What ended up happening was that it was proved in court that people were working off the clock.
Right.
And they weren't getting paid, even if you took work home.
Now that's funny. And after that, you decided to go work for them again.
I was working at Sam's Club when this was going on. This was going on.
So you basically were a part of the class action suit against where you worked, because they're all both under the same umbrella. They're both technically Wal-Mart. Huh. And you didn't find that a problem?
No, and neither did the employees, neither did the managers, and even the guys from home office came to our store and they said that was fine. If you were involved, that you would not be discriminated against.
That's wonderful. And so it sounds like, I mean, there's some people who certainly do not so great things, but those who don't do those things are, you know, they're not trying to protect them.
Now, I will say this. A lot of the negativity that we do get, well, not we, but that they did get, most of what I saw and experienced were from employees that weren't always on the right straight and narrow. There were employees that were coming in late, didn't follow the rules, didn't follow the policies, and when they had written up or when they got in trouble, they made a lot of noise, and then they did the bashing, and then they start talking about this was wrong, this didn't go this way, how can you be a multi-billion-dollar company and
not let me get over.
Pretty much. You know, I've sat in several different rooms with someone that threw themselves on the ground and then wanted workers' comp. And you get that anywhere. Or, you know, get the worker that comes to work and then don't work. You find them smoking in the back, and then when you talk to them, they say, "Well, they don't want me to work." Okay. So you know, so that was my experiences of the negativity that I saw.
Okay, so just to I guess just to wrap it up, what would be your, if you had, I guess, one main statement or feeling about the company overall, what would you say?
Everything's true.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.